hopefully I won't fall over and that'll be better than nothing.
Are you on record right now?
Yeah.
Are you recording now? Okay, go ahead and sit. And I'm going to need you to move that microphone up a little bit. So, yeah, you're still on.
All right. So I don't touch it, but I do talk really close to it.
Yeah, you can move it a little bit further away. If you want to move it down just a little bit, I'm going to get a level on you and make sure we're good.
All right.
And some of it depends on, people sometimes will change their voices a little bit when they start talking on the air, they'll all of a sudden get their radio voice. So let me see. All right, so how long have you been doing this with the gift shirt?
Ooh, I believe 2007 was when I received the gift shirt for Christmas, and then in January 2008 is when I actually started the movement.
And this is the gift shirt you're wearing right now, or is this a
This
Nike
is one
version
version of it. Yep,
okay.
There are many different versions of it, but this is one.
All right, so I am going to, let's see, get this started. If you are ready, you want to take a drink of water first, or which is always a good idea. If by any chance you start coughing or you just forget everything, which sometimes occurs with people, I can always edit it out. So just keep talking. But usually this is like live on tape, except there's no tape involved. So,
all right.
Okay, so if you're ready, I'm going to start.
Okay.
Oh boy, now we're doing this again. This computer has been giving me challenges all day. Okay, so ready?
Yes.
On Saturday, August 23rd, people throughout the world are participating in the annual worldwide 24-hour Runathon to raise awareness and money for health and giving. Joining us today is psychologist Dr. Thomas Budde. He is founder and operator of the GiveShirt.com movement. And Dr. Budde, great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, let's start out first of all. What exactly is the Give Shirt organization or movement?
Yes. So it is an organization, a movement. It's also an official 501c3 nonprofit. And we are helping the world become a more giving place. We do that primarily and uniquely by distributing clothing. It started out with a shirt. That's why it's the Give Shirt. And now it's a whole bunch of different clothing, a wide variety of colors and styles and everything. All printed with the word give. So when people see that word give, they either consciously or subconsciously start thinking more about giving, start giving more. And as we give to other people, everybody knows that we help them, but we also help ourselves. We become happier and healthier through the act of giving.
Who are you giving to?
Myself personally, or the Give Shirt movement?
The Give Shirt movement.
The Give Shirt movement. So and this is something that people often have a hard time understanding. The Give Shirt movement, primarily, the main purpose and the primary mission is to increase the consciousness and the behavior in general of giving throughout the world. So helping other people give more. We also give all of our proceeds away to a huge variety of different charities and good causes. That's a secondary purpose, is to help raise awareness of and money for other charities and good causes, but the main purpose is to help the world give more.
All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Runathon. This is on August 23rd. You're from Milwaukee. You're running in Milwaukee, but there are people running everywhere?
Yeah, running or doing anything active, actually. It's up to them what they do.
All right. Well, give me some examples then. As far as anything active, when you say that, I mean swimming, taking a bike ride. What are you talking about as far as the actual event? Yeah,
so the idea of the event is to increase the world's consciousness of health as well as of giving. So it's a tool and an incentive for anybody to use in order to do something active that day. Some people never do anything active, but they do it that day. Some people choose to do something that they wouldn't normally do or maybe beyond what they've normally done, and therefore they're conscious of it throughout the year, preparing for that day to do that activity, and then telling other people that they're doing an activity and why they're doing it. So it started out as a runathon, and I myself using this tool to run the actual full 24 hours, and I still do that. But some people have said along the way, well, I can't run. Is it okay if I walk? Or I can't run or walk, but I could bike or swim, or I don't like to do those things, but I like to do this. And as long as people are doing something active and telling other people that they're doing it and why they're doing it and that it's a part of this big event, that's increasing their consciousness of health, the people that are actually doing it, as well as other people who find out about it.
Now, let me get this straight. You are running literally 24 hours on August 23rd?
Yes, and this is the 5th annual event, actually. So I've done this once a year for the last 4 years, and this is the 5th year, running nonstop.
You start, what, at midnight?
Midnight to midnight, the whole day, yeah.
Where do you run? Where do you go? I mean, where do you start and where do you end?
Yeah,
it's almost like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, and actually I've watched that movie regularly, and it had been a few years, and I watched it this past year, and he ended up running for something like 3.5 years, I guess, in the movie. So it's not really like Forrest Gump, but it is similar in a way. So actually this year is new. The past 4 years we've done a big loop around the city of Milwaukee, thinking that we would get more exposure, more people could come along and join us because they wouldn't have to travel as far to get to downtown, for example, if we just did it down there. But this year we have a new philosophy, and we believe that it's much easier for people to join and participate. And also much easier for them to find us when they want to join and participate. So we have a 9-mile loop basically right down along the lakefront in downtown Milwaukee. So it's centered, and there's a center booth with information and a place to meet and with bathrooms and parking and all that right at Bradford Beach. And then we start a little bit north of that. I forget the exact intersections and so forth now. And we run right along Bradford Beach, right on the sidewalk, right along the lake, until we get almost to the Art Museum, and then cut down to the left so that we get right along the lake, run behind the Summerfest grounds, and run back. And then there's a little inlet that runs along the marina and goes back. And then, of course, we head back toward Bradford Beach. So it's really 3 out and backs. That's a total of a 9-mile loop. So it's really easy for anyone to come on down and find us and join us.
How many times will you run that loop during those 24 hours?
Well, part of this event actually is a fundraiser, and we ask people to either make a donation or pledge a certain amount of money to be donated depending on how many miles I run per mile. So I would like to answer that question with something like 14, 15, 16 times. Probably a little bit unrealistic. Probably more realistically, I will run about 100 miles, maybe somewhere between 80 and 110 miles. So that would make me doing that loop about 9, 10, 11 times.
And how much rest time do you take during that 24 hours? I mean, you aren't literally running the entire time, or are you?
Yeah, a lot of people say that. Well, you do sleep, right? So there's
you
not...
sit down and rest a minute, change your shoes.
Yeah, so exactly. So there's not really any rest time involved or quote-unquote allowed. But there are times where I do need, it's also depending on the weather, of course. Past years it's been very wet and very cold some of the times, which is one of the reasons why we moved it up earlier these past couple of years. So there are times where I need to lubricate or re-lubricate certain body parts like toes and things like that to help prevent chafing and blistering, or take care of a blister if I get one, or change shoes, change clothes, use the bathroom. So at those times I sort of get a rest in, but there's never a time where I'm actually resting. I'm always doing something, actively caring for a blister or running.
How many people will run with you?
That depends
in
a
this
lot.
location, I mean,
Yeah.
right in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I would love to say that there will be hundreds or thousands of people that come out throughout the day and join us. That really depends a lot on situations like this, where we can get out in the mass media and the public, and they can find out about it and then also understand what it's about and come join us. So we expect definitely over 100 people throughout the day. I'm not sure how many people at one time. It could be sometimes where there'd be nobody, or 1 or 5 people. It could be sometimes where there'd be 20 or 50 people. So it really depends on a lot of different variables.
Do you know of anybody else who's going to take on the challenge of running 24 hours straight like you?
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't know, and we don't know who's even participating. So we, of course, have measures in place. There's a registration tab, for example, on the website, thegiveshirt.com, under the Runathon tab, where you can register, and of course it's free, and we encourage people to do that and to let us know what they're doing, where they're doing it, and send pictures and stories afterwards. But a lot of people don't do that, so we don't really know who is doing what, where in the world, or for how long. So there's nobody that I know of that's actually running the full 24 hours from midnight to midnight that day, but hopefully there are people doing that. But again, that's not even what matters. What matters is people do something, anything.
Do you know where else people are going to be doing something, whether it's 24 hours or 24 minutes? Do you have any word from other places in the country and the world where there are going to be similar activities?
Yeah, absolutely. We do, and I can't just tell you right now the list of the 50 different cities that we're already aware of, but I do travel for a portion of the year, and when I do travel, part of the reason I travel is to increase the consciousness of giving and of the Give Shirt movement, and of course that involves letting people know about the Runathon event. So not only was I in, for example, this year it was solely in Columbia for 4.5 months, informing a lot of people about it who are participating all throughout Columbia, but I've now got friends and connections throughout the world, especially with the social media these days with Facebook and things, and they have connections and they spread the word to their friends. So there are people in numerous countries as well as in numerous cities around the United States, many of which I don't know and we don't know, but also through some Facebook contacts and also the registration tab of the website, we do have the ability to at least track some of it.
All right, now you mentioned that people can pledge an amount per mile in terms of your run, and I would assume other people's. Is this all in a centralized location? How does that work?
What do you mean?
How do you pledge? I mean, do you pledge online?
Mm-hmm, exactly. So really, again, the Runathon is a tool that can be used by anybody to do something active, tell people what you're doing and why you're doing it, and also as a fundraising tool. So anybody can use it as a fundraising tool to raise money for whatever good cause or charity they want. I use it as a fundraising tool to raise money for both thegiveshirt.com and for Carno Kids, which is our main primary benefiting partner, or any charity or good cause people want to. So for example, if you wanted to pledge a certain amount of money, you could pledge that donation to the Give Shirt or Carno Kids or any good cause or charity that you choose. And you can do that in many different ways, basically just by letting us know. So the easiest way is to email us at thegiveshirt@gmail.com. You can also contact us through the website, thegiveshirt.com. You can click the registration tab, even if you're not doing anything active that day, and just explain that what you're doing is spreading the word and or pledging a certain amount. So as long as we know what that is, we keep a tally of it, and then after the day is done, we let you know how many miles I ended up running so you know how much of a donation to make.
What is Carno Kids?
Carno Kids is, so actually the most famous ultra-distance runner in the world, which means more than a marathon, but usually ultra-distance runners are going to run 50 or 100 miles or even more. The most famous one in the world is called Dean Karnazes, and he's actually the man who ran 50 marathons in 50 states in 50 days, which is how a lot of people know him. Still, he's not that well known, especially within the running community. He's very well known. And his nickname is Carno, and he started a nonprofit called Carno Kids. And their motto is "Leave no child inside." So it's all about helping prevent medical complications that are increasing with today's inactivity and diet and so forth of children, such as early onset diabetes, obesity, heart trouble, all this other kind of stuff, by getting them active. So that's their whole goal, is to get kids active, not only doing things, but realizing that they enjoy doing things, finding things that they enjoy doing and want to be doing instead of sitting around playing video games, watching television. Now it's on the cell phone or the iPod or whatever else, but getting people active at a young age.
What is your ultimate goal with the Give Shirt movement?
Save the world. And pretty much literally that, actually, and it's a little bit of a roundabout way. So basically, the ultimate goal of the Give Shirt movement is to help change the world into as giving of a place as possible, where everybody is actively giving, and it's not even a conscious activity anymore. It's just something that we do as a culture, which is actually how I founded the movement after experiencing the culture in Thailand that's really like that now. Just actively giving as a part of who we are, and because of that, we are happier and healthier. We're helping other people have their needs met. By receiving, they start understanding and being more aware of the giving process and the giving cycle. They start giving more, and due to that ripple effect, more and more people are giving and being happier and healthier by giving. But there's also the fact that as we give, we start to understand that really this is not my money and I'm giving it to you, but it's really our world, our money, our things, and we really are better off as a species sharing what we have, and in order ultimately to survive.
Now, you said with the funds that you raise through the Give Shirt movement that you give them to a number of different organizations. How do you determine which organizations that would be?
So as we mentioned earlier, if you decided you wanted to donate a certain amount of money and pledge a certain amount of money per mile that I run for the Runathon, you can choose whatever good cause or charity you want. So we let people choose. When people get the Give Shirt, for example, there's always a donation that goes directly to another charity or good cause. Right now it's $5 per item. And if people want to, they can choose which charity or good cause they want that to go to. So that's why the list is ever growing. It's over 50. I can't remember what they all are anymore. When we have the option of choosing, we choose people that help support us and the Give Shirt movement. So they're partnered with us, and therefore we are also partnered with them. And when given the opportunity, we attempt to think more long-term and bigger and globally and help prevent a lot of the issues from occurring in the first place rather than trying to fix them later. We believe that's a more efficient use resources of time, money, so forth.
All right, now you're a psychologist, so
Yes.
obviously you are a person who studies people. Why is it that you've chosen with the Give Shirt movement to let it be on the onus of many people, where in other words, they decide what they're going to do as far as movement and to whom they want to designate the giving? What's the psychology behind all that?
I've never been asked that question before, so thank you. Part of the answer is that that's what the vision of mine and the mission of the Give Shirt movement is, which is how it varies greatly from most other charities or nonprofits. Most of them are raising awareness of an issue or an illness or a certain child who is sick or something like that and raising money for that specific cause. Our mission believes and understands that all of that is good and that the world does not do as much of that in general across the board as we can do. So it's a much broader vision and mission in the first place. Another part of that answer, and this is more of the psychology of it, is that when we are really personally invested in something, we're much more motivated by it, likely to participate in it. So, for example, if we said, well, we're raising awareness and money of this one cause, then we're excluding all the people that, for whatever reason, don't have an understanding of or an interest in that cause. And we don't want to exclude anybody. We include everybody.
So it's an inclusive movement.
Yes.
So if people want to learn more about the Give Shirt movement, if they want to learn more about the Runathon, if they'd like to get a Give Shirt, how can they learn more?
Yeah, and actually, hopefully all of that is pretty clearly done and doable through the website. So it's thegiveshirt.com. The second tab, I believe it is called, I think it's called the store, and that's where you're actually able to go and see a bunch of the different products that we have and order the different apparel and items. The next tab then is called Runathon, and that's where people can get all the information about the Runathon and also register at the tab. In there's a link to the Facebook event. So there's also a Facebook event of the Runathon event. And by doing that, they're able to join the Facebook event, but then also share the Facebook event with all their friends. So it's a really easy way to spread the word. All they have to do is click on join, share, and then click on their friends and send. And next thing you know, they've informed 100 or 1,000, however many Facebook friends they have, that this is going on.
And of course, they can all come out on August 23rd to the lakefront, anytime from midnight to midnight, and participate with you, or at the very least, watch you run, Dr. Thomas Budde.
Yes, absolutely. And wherever they are, they can do something. They don't even have to be in the Milwaukee area that day.
Dr. Budde, a pleasure to meet you. Dr. Thomas Budde, the founder and operator of the GiveShirt.com movement. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you again for having us.
And for 94.5 Lakeviews, I'm Libby Collins. Okay, we got it.
All right, thank you so much.
I just want to take out a couple things here, just a couple of breath things. Let's see, 253. So are you doing a lot of interviews for this year?
Yeah, actually we are.
I've seen you on TV.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. That's why
As
I was
a
curious
Runathon,
what
and I myself
if
using
there was
this
a
tool
psychological
to
reason
run
that
the
you're
actual
doing
full
it this
24
way
hours, and I still do that.
instead
But
of
some people have said along the way, well,
a
I
more
can't
conventional
run.
way.
Is it okay if I walk?
Yeah.
Or I can't run or walk.
And there
or I can
absolutely
bike,
is, and I was
swim,
just
or
a little
would like
bit
to do
thrown
those
off
things,
guard
or
by
I'd like to do
the
this.
question
And as
because
long
I've
as
never
people
been
are doing
asked it, and
something
I didn't.
active
And the
telling
answer
other
is really
people that-
broad, and I haven't. I don't know what the right word is. I haven't figured out a way to concisely answer that yet.
Yeah. Are you a Buddhist or?
I'm not anything.
Okay.
So-
Because I mean, your philosophy is very similar to that. That's what I find kind of interesting.
Yeah, I most closely identify with Buddhism than anything
Okay.
else that I've discovered so far,
Okay.
but I don't limit myself only to Buddhism. I believe in and follow the practices of many different groups, religious groups, philosophies, ways of life, all that kind of stuff. And I basically live a life without limits, which is part of the
Which is
getting it back.
well, it
at
sounds
what
as
it
if you
means.
travel a lot as well.
Yeah,
So
and that helps.
3 months in Colombia?
Yeah, 4.5 months actually this year. I was
Oh
in
wow!
Colombia.
Where in Colombia were you?
This year, I made my way up from Bogota through San Gil, Bucaramanga to the coast.
Was that a little dangerous, though, in some of the areas where you were?
Colombia is one of the safest Latin American countries right now. About 10 years ago, it was one of the most dangerous.
I know.
But now it's extremely safe. There are police everywhere. Everyone has to do 2 years of police or military service when they turn 18.
Kind of like Israel?
And then many of them continue in there because it's good money, it's a solid job, and they enjoy it. So it's very safe. The only places that are less safe are really out in the countryside where nobody goes, especially a tourist like myself would never go there. There's still some guerrilla type activity
and
there.
And the drug kind of cartels and all that.
And join us because they wouldn't have to travel this far to get to downtown, for example, if we just did it down there. But this year... Yeah, and actually I've watched that movie regularly, and it had been a few years, and I watched it this past year, and he ended up running for something like 3.5 years, I guess, in the movie. So it's not really like Forrest Gump, but it is similar in a way. So it
does remind me of it, though.
Yeah, everyone says that, but I have to give Forrest Gump a lot more credit because
preparing for that day to do that activity and then telling other people that they're doing an activity and why they're doing it. So it started out as a runathon, and I myself using this tool to run the actual full 24 hours, and I still do that. But some people have said along the way, well, I can't run. Is it okay if I walk? Or I can't run or walk, but I could bike or swim, or I don't like to do those things, but I like to do this. And as long as people are doing something active and telling other people that they're doing it and why they're doing it, and that it's a part of this big event, that's increasing their consciousness of health. The people. Incentive for anybody to use.
Everywhere?
Yeah, running or doing anything active.
Okay, I think we got it. I think we're good. Let me just get this in the start. On Saturday. Okay, let me just save this to make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
And is it possible to get a copy of that also, please?
What I can do is, well, I'll explain. Let me just save this first. So... what we do is this will air, I'm pretty certain, on Sunday the 17th. So the Sunday before, because you're running on the 23rd. So to run on that Sunday at 7 a.m. or at 6 a.m. The show is then posted on our website the following day. So once it's up there, then you have access to it. I can send you the link on that, and then if you want to link to your Facebook page or whatever, you can.
Okay.
So it'll be right there. And then when we post it on there, we also post a link to your website so people can just click on and then they can hear the interview. So I'll send you all that link. But right now I'm almost positive this is going to run on the 17th. If not, it would run on the 10th, but I think right now it's going to run on the 17th.
Okay.
So
and then would we be able to get like a copy of it on a hard drive or something like that, or
I can email you the link to it, and then you can.
But that's a link to the website, right?
Yeah,
it's not the actual.
It's how these are posted is the interviews are all posted separately. So once it's on the website, you can just take it from that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And we will be able to take it off of there and put it on a hard drive or something.
Yeah. You could record it then onto whatever, because it will be up there in its entirety, and then you can just take it down. So it works out. I mean, anybody who ever asks me, once I send it to them, they're like, oh, okay, now I got it. So, and don't forget your phone, because I think you're still recording.
Yeah, mostly it's in order to be able to use for things like that, for video clips and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like just a link on a website that you can just go to the website and play it, and it's